We'll get players up here in a matter of moments. We can go ahead and get started with Oakland coach Greg Campy. Coach, an opening statement, then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, this is the worst time of the year for anybody when you really like your team and you like coaching them, and it's over, So it's a hard thing, really hard thing, because I've done this for so long. Yeah, you want to win and you want championships and you want NCAA tournaments and you want that for those players. You want it so that those guys can experience that. But for me as the coach, I don't get to coach them anymore. And in this day and age of, people coming and going, I mean, we had 11 new players this year. Took a while to get to know everybody, took a while to figure out our team, and we start rolling and we're playing pretty good, and now it's over. And that's the hardest part, and that's what I just told them. The hard part for me is I don't get to coach them anymore.
Well,
Go ahead. That's my takeaway right now.
We'll get Malcolm up here. I know Alan is on his way up here as well. If you have a question for Greg, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. Right here. Go ahead.
Coach, can you kind of run through your thought process at the end of regulation on that last play? Was that planned to run it down that far, or just kind of what happened?
No, Alan had fouled out. I just wanted to make sure we got to overtime. We'd won 3 overtime games in a row. I did not want to come up and fly it up and take a quick shot. I wanted to make sure that we got something. We have a sideline out of bounds play that's won a lot of games. Maybe Andy knew it. Maybe he didn't. Maybe it didn't work. And it was a bad call by me. But my whole thing there was 2 straight reviews went against us. We had a 3-point lead. Kid made a great play, drove in, they call foul. The momentum seemed to be against us. I just didn't want something to come down and do something that allowed them to win the game in regulation. So I wanted to get one quick shot at it, and then I felt we could win in overtime. Their best player, Fuegas, was out, Allen was out. It was going to be different, it was going to be different without those 2 guys out there. I thought we had an advantage with Baru still. And so I just felt we would win if we could get to overtime. And that kid buries a 40-footer at the end of the shot clock to start the overtime. That changed everything. We had a great possession of defense. And you got to give the kid credit. It wasn't even a jump shot. It was weird. It was like he took a step and just heaved it at the end of the shot clock from, about 36 feet. And it went in. And that set the tone for overtime. So your answer is, yeah, I once I saw we weren't getting anything.
Questions for Greg? Questions also for the student athletes and Malcolm and Alan. Please raise your hand. Let's go over to Chris over here in the back. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris Schumer through Rizone. Coach, you're talking about how you don't get to coach these guys anymore and what a pleasure it's been to coach them. First thing you might notice about your bigs tonight is that they were outsized, but obviously they showed through the competitive nature of the game that they were more than up for the task. Obviously you don't get the result you want, but what do you see besides just height that had you feeling pretty good about your guys inside even before the game started?
Well, that's who we are. We've been, Allen and Baru have been a dominant force in this league all year. We play inside out. We have, in my humble opinion, we have the 2 best big men in the league. We have a tremendous combination in there. They play together well. They play off each other. And we felt we had a real, we've been playing very good down the stretch. Tonight was the 7th game that we've lost this year where we had a double-digit lead in the second half. And, usually when your season ends, it gets you by how your season went. If you know what I mean, that if you're a bad free throw shooting team, usually your last game you lose because you didn't make free throws. If you're a bad this team, usually your season ends because that weakness comes to front. So we were playing really well, and we felt really good about ourselves because those two guys are so dominant, and we started shooting the ball much better this year. But we lost how we lost during the season. You know, double-digit lead in the second half got away from us.
Like you said, a double-digit lead in the second half. But what do you think was the turning point in the game for RMU to come back?
Well, they got this their 25th win. They're not going to run away and hide. I mean, we got that lead. You knew there was a run left in them. It was a matter of, you know, getting that run stopped, and we didn't. They got the lead, and then we came back and took the lead, and then Cam Wood's three was, I thought, the three-point shot. We had a 4-point lead, and he hadn't made a three the whole game, and he didn't even, I mean, they kicked it out to him, and he shot a 26-footer and made it. And we went down, made 2 free throws, and then the call, you know, tied the game up. So, you know, I'm not sure that in a game like this, in a semifinals, of, you know, in a winner, in the importance of a game like this, you can ever think, you know, that a team's going to die. They're not going to. And just like we weren't. Once they came back and get the lead, we weren't going to die. We kept battling, and we got the lead back. And that's just, it was a great college basketball game, a great one.
Let's get some questions for the student athletes. Anybody have questions for either Malcolm and or Alan right down here in front? Go ahead, please.
Malcolm, only 1 year at Oakland, but can you just kind of summarize what this program was for you?
Yeah, I think that this year was, you know, a huge growth year for me as a basketball player and as a person. You know, playing for this team with these guys and this coaching staff, I feel like I learned a lot about myself. And, you know, being away from home in a different country wasn't always easy, but this group, you know, made it worth it. I don't even know what to say. I just am so grateful for this experience and for these guys and, you know, for what they've given me. Yeah.
Any further questions for student athletes? Go ahead.
Alan, obviously you had a really great game, but you weren't able to play in overtime. Obviously, how frustrating was it to just watch this team and not be able to contribute in the extra frame?
Like I said, it's frustrating, right? The only thing I could do is just pray for my teammates, trust them, and go along with the plan. But like you said, it was just frustrating. I got no other words for that.
Go ahead.
For Alan and Malcolm, just curious as to what you would tell a high school kid or a kid coming out of the portal that is considering coming to Oakland next season and beyond. What would you tell them about this program that would want to attract them to come and play, you know, for Coach Campy?
You're in great place, in great hands. You can be yourself, and you're going to win. That's all I got for him.
Malcolm?
What Alan said.
Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, Bob McDowell, Verizon Roundtable. This question is for either Alan or Malcolm. What's the best thing that you guys can take away from this season? I know it didn't end the way you wanted to, but what's the best thing that you can take away from this season?
The group of guys, this team. I feel like we showed up every day and we competed, and, you know, up until that last buzzer went, you know, we played hard. We played hard for each other. I think that, you know, I love this group, and I think that we all love each other.
For me as the team, I want to say that since I am in the U.S., it's the best team I ever had. I mean, everybody, the individuals, never had that before. So it's just the guys and coaching staff for sure. Working out with them, I saw the tremendous improvement in everything that I do and that we do as a group. So I just want to thank the coaching staff for sure.
Any further questions for the players?